Hello, and welcome to the first Zombie Couch tutorial video. Today we'll be delving into the world of 3D models and 3D printing. This has been something of an interest to me for quite some time now and something I've been getting into myself, and so I'd like to share with you what I've been learning. So today we'll be looking into a program called Slic3r. It is a free open source program that allows you to take 3D models and then cut them smaller so that you can better print them, better lay them on a print bed, better assemble them and assort them. So first, let's go ahead and get the software. If you go to your favorite search engine and search Slic3r, where the E is a 3, this should come up, Slic3r G-code generator for 3D printers. Now this should work for most, if not all, 3D printers. Mine uses a G-code format in order to make the prints, in order to actually print these files I create. And so this piece of software works particularly well for my printer. So if we go to the download section, or if you navigate simply to slic3r.org/download, it'll take you to this page. Here you'll select your operating system for what you need for your particular computer. In my case, I'd be choosing Windows here. I've already downloaded the file, so I'm going to skip ahead to what I would have downloaded. So you'll see here a zipped folder, and this is what you will receive. I've already extracted it, and so this is eventually what you'll get. A simple Slic3r folder, ready to go, already installed. Other than extracting it, that's all you have to do. So now let's open the software, and it'll take a second to launch, so don't fret. And once we have it up and running, let's go ahead and jump into the configuration wizard so we can set it up to our needs. So if you go to Help in Configuration Wizard, it'll open a handy dandy little window that allows us to jump through a couple different quick settings that essentially gets this software up and running and ready to go for your printer, at least the basics. So in my case, I'm running a Maker Farm Pegasus 10-inch. And so I'll be using the RipWrap G-code flavor. Next. Now you set the bed size. So mine is the 10 by 10 by 10. In this case, you're only setting the X and the Y, and it's in millimeters. So 10 inches, in my case, converts over to 254 millimeters. 254 by 254, which is 10 inches by 10 inches. Next, here you'll choose a nozzle diameter. In my case, it is 0.4 millimeters. Next. After that, you'll choose your filament diameter. Mine is 1.75, and that's pretty common. There's also 3, which is what it started with there, but I find that to be less common in current printers available on the market now. So next, here you choose a bed temperature, and this is honestly, it's up to you. It depends on your personal experience or the experience of others in forums and things you've read. So for me, I find that my PLA material works very, very well at 210 degrees Celsius. Next, there's the bed temperature. If you have a heated bed, you'll want to set a number here. If you don't, it's not particularly important to you, but it's nice to have if you do have one. So again, based on my experience, I found about 70 degrees Celsius to be sufficient for my needs. And with that, your basic setup is complete. Now, let's go ahead and put a simple model in here, something that we can use to demonstrate what this software can do for you. So I've downloaded a Guy Fawkes mask. You can simply drag and drop the 3D object. In this case, this is an STL file. You can simply drag and drop that into the interface here. So now that the model is on this bed, we can see that it fits nicely into my 10 by 10 square inch zone. But the issue here is that it would be very, very difficult to print, even with support material, or in other words, it would take a lot of support material to print this as is. So long as you don't mind having a seam or later going back and doing some post-processing, sanding and patching, then we can simply take this model, we can click it, so if it's yellow, it's not selected, and if it is green, it is selected. And when it's selected, you'll find that these options up here become available to you. So if we select the cut option here, it'll open a new window, and we can see this little white plane down here, or lighter plane. And if we move this slider, we can change the location of that plane. And so what this is doing is we can select a location where we want to split this model, slice it, hence the name. So once you've chosen a position, You can do perform cut. And you'll see that it has cut it where we've The issue now is that it's taking up an awful lot of bed space when it doesn't need to, so we can simply take one of these, right-click this particular half, because now these are separate pieces. Right-click a particular half, rotate it on the Z-axis, 180 degrees, which is rotating it around, and we can set it nicely here, which makes it much smaller in the print area, makes travel time less, and now it'll print without support material. And there you have it, the basics of Slic3r. I'll be going into more detailed elements of Slic3r later in another video regarding print settings, filament settings, and also the expert mode and simple mode and the differences thereof. So stay tuned for that.